Show mercy.
Lead by 13.
Okay, welcome back to another NPX Game Talk with Rage and Blaze. We are going to be talking about a few things today, like the fact that Nintendo has already announced a new Mario OLED bundle that appears to be available already through Best Buy, at least. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is crossing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which, if you can't notice, we're a little excited about that. And then we also have Nintendo officially has announced Pokémon Day. But first, let's talk about the games that we are playing. So, Blaze, right now, what are you playing?
I'm playing Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Just got this game the other day, and I just started it, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. It's got.
I figured you would.
It's absolutely the type of gameplay that I love. It's a turn-based RPG. It's got RPG elements. It's not like full normal RPG, but it is turn-based.
It's like grid fighting.
I'm enjoying the heck out of it. As you can see, this is one of the boss battles from it. It's pretty cute. Rabbids are annoying, and I've played some Rabbids games. Have you ever played any Rabbids games?
No, not really. I've played. Not really. They came from the Rayman series, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played Rayman, but I've never played just Rabbids. It's not really my thing. But I do own both of these Mario Rabbids games, and I have beat the one that you are playing. I have not beat the Sparks of Hope, which is the sequel. But I played the crap out of this one and beat it 100% at it. Because pretty much anything Mario related that's came out on the Switch, I've bought because I just love the Mario games. Any spin-off Mario games, I get them all, the sports titles, all of them. And I picked this up when it was new, and I really enjoyed this. It's a very fun, kind of easy to understand grid-based RPG game, and I had a heck of a time with it. I don't know what it is about Sparks of Hope. I just haven't fully engaged in that one nearly as much.
Is the gameplay pretty much the same?
Pretty much. I think they made some differences. But yeah, I just, for whatever reason, I just haven't. Maybe other games were coming out. Maybe there wasn't much for me to play when this came out, so I played it a lot. Where when Sparks of Hope came out, there might have been some other games I was playing that I kind of prioritized over it. I'll get to it. It's in my backlog of games that I need to play, but I just haven't fully engaged in that Sparks of Hope yet, and I've owned it for a while, so I really have no excuse to not be playing it. But just it seems like there's just other stuff that's drawn my attention. I'll get to it.
I kind of wish the co-op option they have on there was online, because I would love to play the co-op with you. I'm going to guess you haven't even played the co-op much at all.
No, I played the single player by myself. Like I said, went through, beat it. I enjoyed this game. I mean, it's a fun grid based RPG. Uh,
I'm loving it. Who are your favorite characters in this game?
oh, I'm sure Mario. I mean, I played this when it was new. Uh, I can't remember which rabbits. I liked how there was rabbits dressed up as Mario characters too. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
No.
I'd have to go back to it to remember
So
which
far,
characters.
well, so far my favorites. I just unlocked Peach, so I haven't really got to play with her much. I also unlocked Rabbid Mario, which I don't know. I haven't really gotten into Rabbid Mario. Rabbid Mario kind of feels a little too similar to Mario. And since when you're playing the campaign mode, you have to use Mario. You don't have a choice. Mario's the one person on your team you have to use. Um, so I can't really take him out. I do like Mario. I like his jump attack. That's what I've been focusing on leveling up, making his jump attack as strong as possible. But I really like Rabid Luigi. Rabid Luigi has like it's a vamp power where if he hits someone or I have a gun that if he hits that gun, that that enemy that he attacks, anybody can hit and you siphon power or health from them. So he gets you health. He's probably one of the best healers, especially if you level him up. And he's not even technically a healer. And then I love Luigi. Luigi's got that long range of the snipers and stuff. Um, I like his ability to shoot from afar. Uh, Peach seems pretty cool. I liked Rabbit. In fact, I used Rabbit Mario. I haven't even told you this. I had to redo my entire game. It kept on saying I had a corrupted file, so I was trying to fix that situation. And when I did that, it deleted my entire game to load up a file that I must have played at your house and barely played. And I was almost done with World 2 and had to restart from the beginning. Luckily, I love this gameplay so much that I've already gotten to where I left off and actually gotten farther than where I left off from when I lost my file.
I
So
got
yeah,
you.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's been a lot of fun. I just got it and I've been playing the crap out of it.
Yeah, you called me while you were at the store the other day, and you were kind of looking for something inexpensive to kind of pick up and play. And that's kind of the one thing about Nintendo games is, I mean, they're expensive and they usually don't go down in price. But due to the fact that Ubisoft pretty much made this game with the Nintendo licensing, you actually can get a discount on this and Sparks of Hope. You paid probably what, $20 for this game?
Yep, this was 20.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for this game. I think when it came out, I don't even know if it was a full 60. I think it might have been a $40 game. But picking up now for $20 is pretty common. So for somebody who's looking for, they don't have a lot of money and they're looking for kind of a cheap option, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, if you're into this grid-based type of RPG, is a blast. I mean, and the animations are so fun. Just it doesn't take itself too serious, but you can see there's a lot of, like, watching this video, you can see there's a lot of skill on how you can move your characters, and it, a lot of these grid-based RPGs, let's be honest, I think a lot of them are mostly, they take themselves pretty serious.
Oh
This
yeah.
this one's cute and fun. It's got a lot of charm to it. And it's very tactical and fun. Like, I absolutely adore this game. But it's definitely a cheaper option for people who are looking to save money and pick up a Mario title that's not $60 8 years into, after it releases. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a good one to pick up.
Agreed.
Okay, so
All right. So what are you playing?
what am I playing? So right now, I just finished that Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I still have some bonus levels to complete, but I finished the final boss. So I've slowed down. I'll get to those bonus levels, but they made an announcement, which I know I'm kind of this is a little early on. We were going to talk about this, but it kind of blends into what I'm playing. If everybody can't see the Turtles gear, we grew up at the perfect time that Turtles was bigger than just about anything when we were growing up. I mean, you think about the Marvel universe today and how huge that is. That the Turtles was huge for us back in the day, probably bigger than any other character, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, any of those. And like I said, in today's world, you got a lot of Marvel characters that are huge. Um, the Turtles was it for us growing up when we were growing up and everything. We had Turtles everything. Obviously, all the Turtles video games. I've got the Cowabunga Bunga collection behind me, and the part 1, 2, and 3 on the Nintendo of all these games. I thought I'd bring those out and display them since we're talking about this. But Call of Duty Black Ops 6 just gave a new update maybe 2 nights ago. A couple nights ago, Black Ops 6 just had a new update, and they added a crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Blaze, I know you like to play the multiplayer, and I do dabble in it when people want to play. But for the most
We are
part,
so close.
I'm really into the zombies. Like zombies is what I really like to play.
I
I
can't
just
stand it.
it just has that arcadey feel to it, and I really like that they give me different things to complete. Like there's just so many different ways for me to play this. Right now, I'm kind of in camo grinding, and I'm trying to get all the different camos unlocked with all the different guns. But they also added for the Turtles event this new mode on zombies called Cowabunga Cranked. And that's what I've been playing the last day and a half or so is you go in there, and once you kill your first zombie, which as you can see in the video, the zombies have been changed. The movements are the same and everything, but the skins have been changed to the foot soldiers from the classic cartoon that we grew up and watched. And it is so cool that you're sitting around fighting these foot soldiers. But as you can see on the video, there's a time limit that starts around, I think, a minute and a half when you first get in the game, and every round I think it dips down a little bit more and more, but you've got to keep that timer running by getting kills. And then the foot soldiers were dropped like you just saw there, a whole pizza box, or you can get pizza slices, which give you a little bit of time. Pizza box fills it up completely, but the whole idea is to keep killing the foot soldiers, because once you start running around and you don't have any to kill, your clock starts dropping. You do have a special ability. Once you fill up your special ability, you can stop the clock, and at that time, you can go pack your gun, get a gun out of the wonder box or the mystery box. But I'm having a lot of fun playing this. It's just I love the turtles, and the fact that they put it in Call of Duty really surprises me. I mean, it's a mature rated game. Turtles are really geared for kids, but I suppose they know their audience. And most of us who really got into the Turtles growing up, we're no longer kids, so I guess it's okay to mix these two genres. Um, but I was just so shocked when I heard about this a few days ago that this was going to be happening,
So
and it's pretty cool.
I would like to argue that yes, for most of our lives, we've also always known the turtles to be more child friendly, more family oriented. But to be honest with you, the turtles didn't start out that way. I don't know how much you know about the comic books.
Yeah,
In
the comic book was a little bit darker. I'm
they
aware
killed
of that. I've
Shredder
read
in like
some
the
of them.
beginning. But the original Image comic books, until they after the show, they made a cartoon off the show. They thought it'd be good for kids. They changed the fact that because in the original comic book, all the turtles had red masks. Like they didn't define them by color. Now they always do, but in the original, no, they were all just red masks. They all looked pretty similar, and they had the different weapons. This is also not the first time that Call of Duty has done a collab with the Turtles. Because in the last Call of Duty game, Modern Warfare, was it 2 or 3? I think it was 2. Modern Warfare 2 that they released, which was technically a redo of Modern Warfare 2 that they made a long time ago. They did a Turtles where you could get Shredder. Now, it wasn't a full event. They just had it where you could buy Shredder as a skin. And I actually have Shredder. I kind of wish they would bring him into this mode. I feel like I spent the money on that Shredder. I should be able to play it on this Call of Duty as well, especially when you bring in the Turtles. Why not let us, who have the villain, come in to attack these Turtles? You know what I mean?
So if you're sitting here still watching the video, yeah, I get what you're saying. But if you're watching the video, I kind of forgot to mention the turtle power up, which gives you one of the turtle's weapons to use as a melee weapon during the zombies mode. Um, so you've got your katana, your nunchucks, your sai, and your bow, which now you can get with that turtle power. But if you buy the packs and you buy the skins for each character, which is very pricey, by the way.
About that when we talk about it.
No, let's talk about this now. But
talk about it now.
Yeah, let's just talk about Call of Duty and we'll just do it now. But anyhow, but you can buy these packs and they come with the weapon of the turtle you buy, obviously. So,
Yes.
but in this mode, if you get the turtle power up, you get a random one of the 4 weapons randomly. So, you can do that during the zombie game. So that's pretty cool that I've got to at least play with those weapons without purchasing the thing. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I'm having a blast with it. So go ahead. Do you have the numbers? If you want all these skins and the characters, it's pretty pricey.
So it's 2,400 Call of Duty points for each turtle. There is each turtle is 2,400 points, and it which is about $20 in US dollars. So yeah, if you want all of them, that's going to be $80 for all 4 turtles. Which Call of Duty is. There's been a lot of people complaining about that. I was reading stuff online about how they feel like Call of Duty should just go ahead and just make the game free to play. Which, if you have Xbox, the game is technically free to play because it's on Game Pass.
Well, but you pay for Game Pass monthly. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
True.
That's how I play it. I did not go out and buy Call of Duty this year. Matter of fact, I haven't really been buying Call of Duty lately. I kind of got burned out on it. And the fact that it was readily available on Game Pass and there was new zombie mode is the only reason I really tried this out. But I'll tell you what, it's starting to drive me nuts because every time they do one of these updates, I think this latest update with the Turtles was like 68 gig. I mean, that's the size of a lot of games. I'd have to get on there and see how many gigs I have set back just for this Call of Duty game. I feel like every time they have an update, I have to get in there and delete other games. And I'm getting to the point where I don't have many more games to delete. And if I start deleting too much, then stuff other people in my house are playing, they ain't going to be able to play it because I've deleted everything just to continue playing Call of Duty. It's kind of wild. But yeah, it's kind of getting ridiculous with these download sizes just to get these updates on Call of Duty. So like I said, the only reason I am playing it is because it is accessible on Game Pass. But yeah, I wouldn't have went out and bought it regularly, and we wouldn't even be talking about this Turtles crossover because I wouldn't have been paying attention to it if I wasn't playing it. So, but yeah, I'd prefer to be playing something on my Switch or my PlayStation instead of playing Call of Duty all the time. But that zombies always gets me hooked. When I get into that zombies, that's I like grinding for those camos. I like grinding for those it's not achievements. You go in there and the calling cards.
Yeah.
I like to unlock all the calling cards, and I've almost got them all unlocked except for the mystery ones, which those are a little harder to get. There's some of them that a little bit difficult, but like one, you have to have 1,000,000 kills. I mean, I'm nowhere near 1,000,000 kills. Like, I mean, you would have to play that for quite a while to get 1,000,000 zombie kills. I mean, or so I don't know if I'll unlock all the mystery ones. I'll probably unlock all the regular calling cards, and then once I unlock all those and I unlock the camos, I'll probably be done with it. Probably start playing something else a little bit more. But I like to kind of jump from a couple different games. Uh, I don't like to stick to just one game, but right now that's kind of what I've been doing lately is that Call of Duty Zombies. All right,
Yeah.
so
If well, 1 second. There's also more. Not only can you get all 4 turtles, and it comes with they come with skins, the weapons. You also get like a profile pic of each turtle. I mean, depending on which turtle you buy. So if you buy Raphael, it has a Raphael profile pic. It has calling cards that come with it. It has an emote that comes with it. And each turtle has their own emote. Each turtle has. That's the one good thing is it's not just a skin. So you also get executions, which I just showed a video of each turtle's execution. So you get the execution for each turtle. There's a couple other things. Each turtle has their own like gun skin. It might be even a whole gun. Uh, so it does come with a lot. And then not only that, and about if you're watching this on Saturday, I believe about 5 days. They'll be coming out with a Turtles um, uh,
event.
event. Yeah, there's also going to be a Turtles event. There will be like a mini game pass or mini battle pass with the event. For free, you will get a foot soldier skin, which trust me when I say I will be getting that foot soldier skin for sure for free. So I will be playing some Call of Duty in about a week,
Yeah,
so I can get that foot soldier skin.
I will definitely be completing that event and getting any of the freebies, but I cannot justify buying the turtle skins. I
If
just
I
can't
did,
do
I'd
it.
just buy the one. I'd buy Raphael.
No, I'm not buying. I'm not buying any of them. I mean, let's put it this way: we just talked about how you are having a blast with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. You paid $20 for it.
I know
So where
it would be the same with
what would
skins.
you rather pay $20 for? A full game RPG tactical grid game, or to make your character look like a
Actually,
turtle and have their weapon and
I
skin and
probably
calling
won't
cards and
get it
stuff like
mainly
that.
because
So
I haven't been playing Call of Duty very much lately, especially since I got a Switch. A lot of my gaming has been on the Switch, but it's still it's Raphael, which is the only reason I would even consider. However, if you buy the Battle Pass is cheaper. If you pay for the $10 premium Battle Pass for the Turtles event, you get Splinter. So for $10, you can earn Splinter by going through the Battle Pass. Um, Not as cool as the Turtles, but Splinter is pretty badass. Well, ours, you know.
all right. Well, let's move on from Call of Duty and let's go ahead and check out our headlines of the day.
Alrighty.
Okay, so our headlines are very Nintendo heavy today. So I'd like to talk about the announcement that Nintendo has made and the announcements that Nintendo hasn't made yet. Let's start with the Nintendo announcement that they actually did make, and that is they have announced officially a Pokemon Presents, and that is officially going to be happening on Thursday of next week, and that is Thursday the 27th, where they will have a Pokemon Presents. And now I am not a Pokemon player. I really don't play those games. I've heard a lot of good things about that Arceus, I think it's called. So maybe if I find it on sale, I might pick that up and try it out just because I don't know how good of a comparison this is, but people claim that that is the Breath of the Wild that Zelda has, that it became such a massive great, not that Zelda was bad before, but it just kind of expanded it, made it so much bigger and better. People are saying that that Pokemon Arceus is the equivalent of like what it did for Pokemon. It just kind of made it such a bigger and better game. I've never played it. If you're a Pokemon fan and you know a little bit more, maybe you guys out there that's listening have played it. So we'd love to hear if that's true. Heard that some of the more recent ones that they released were kind of a disaster. A lot of complaints, wasn't running correctly at launch, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just not a big Pokemon guy. Um, but I do know that there's Nintendo has already announced a game called Pokemon ZA, I believe is what it's called,
Heard of that? Yeah.
and that is the big one that they have already announced, but they haven't gave a release date for. So I believe next Thursday on the 27th of February, you might hear uh, maybe see more footage of that game or see gameplay footage of that game, and maybe get a release date for that game would be something I would imagine they'll announce. I know the Pokemon Presents is not always fully focused on the video games, though. I know there's the Pokemon Go game, which I believe you've played, right? I've never.
I've played the Game Boy games. I've played Pokemon Go. I've never gotten into the Pokemon card game, because
Okay.
there is a trading card game as well that's very popular. It's right up there with Magic the Gathering, the card game. Um, but I have played the video games. I like the video games because the video games are turn-based RPGs. They're you. It's a turn-based RPG where your character goes around. You encounter Pokemon. You can capture those Pokemon, and they become part of your arsenal. And then you can you can have 6 Pokemon at a time. And I mean, you level them up by having them out and fighting. I mean, this is cockfighting pretty much. I mean, if you don't like chickens fighting each other, this is the equivalent of what that is. It's little monster creatures fighting each other. But it's a very fun RPG. If you like RPGs, it is a very very good RPG. The Game Boy games are very fun. I'd like to play Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. I don't own that game, so I have not played it. Um, but it is pretty much a remake of the original Game Boy games. Now, for the longest time, the actual Pokemon RPG games have stuck to be in handheld only. So you only can play them if you have Game Boys, the
Well,
DS.
in Pokemon's defense, the Switch is technically
A
a
handheld, yeah.
handheld. So,
I
so
believe
the
it's the first time they've had major Pokemon games on their major consoles.
Yeah, because before wasn't they like the Pokemon tournament and
Yeah,
there was different
Pokemon
Pokemon games,
Snap,
but never really the
Pokemon
mainline
Coliseum.
regular. Yeah,
Yeah,
never really the mainline
which
Pokemon games.
they did do cool things with that. If you back in the day when you had Pokemon Coliseum 1 and 2, they had an adapter where you could hook up your Game Boy game and you use your actual Pokemon in the Coliseum to face each other. They do a lot of cool things, but mostly they are handhelds. And yeah, Pokemon Go, I played, I get into it, and then I stop playing, and then I get back into it a couple years later. And right now I'm not playing it right now, but it's cool. You find Pokemon on your phone. Your phone uses your camera. You find Pokemon on the wild. You can collect them. You can go to gyms. They encourage you to go to like a park or a restaurant that has a gym, and you can fight and you can defend that gym with other people in the world. It's a very unique concept, and it kind of I've met friends going around Pokemon going. Um, but I don't know if people do it as much nowadays, but when it came out, it was huge.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and also another thing I want to mention before we move on from Pokemon Presents and Pokemon Day is a lot of people are wondering why we haven't gotten a lot of the Pokemon games on the NSO, virtual console on the Switch. Um, so there, a lot of people are really holding out hope that maybe we'll get more Pokemon games for the Nintendo Switch Online subscription for the Game Boy and stuff like that. So
I don't see
hopefully
them doing it.
you don't see them doing it. Why not?
I don't see them doing it because Pokemon games still go for a crap load of money
Yeah, but they're
on the
not getting
Game
that
Boy.
crap load of money anymore.
Uh,
What do they care about the secondary market?
I don't know, but it still seems to be pretty popular. I don't know if I truly see them doing that. They also didn't put, you know, they didn't put the RPG Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo um, because they have a remake. They don't. I don't know. It would be cool, and they do have some Pokemon games, but not the main games.
Yeah, they don't have the main games on
All right,
there.
give me 1 second. Go ahead and keep talking.
Okay. So yeah, that's probably gonna do it for Pokemon. And hopefully everybody gets what they want out of that. But what I really want is the Nintendo Direct, the final one for the Nintendo Switch before the April 2nd Switch 2 event, which we know is coming. They've gave us a time and a date for. Um, but it kind of felt like that this was kind of the last week that we could have gotten a Nintendo Direct, and we haven't got one yet. So I'm really trying to figure out where that Nintendo Direct is, and are they just going to start announcing different things? Because the last thing they've got on the calendar is they've got the Xenoblade Chronicles X coming out, and that comes out in March. But after March, they don't have anything else coming out on the schedule. They've got the Pokemon ZA, and then they've got Metroid Prime 4 announced, but neither one has release dates. So maybe that Pokemon game will come out soon. I'm not sure what date they'll give that. I'm still believing the Metroid Prime 4 is going to end up being a cross gen. There will be a Switch 2 version and a Switch version, just like they did Breath of the Wild when the Wii U went to the Switch. There was a version on both systems. I think Prime 4 is going to be a cross gen title. And I think that's why they haven't gave us a release date, because it will be the same release date as the Nintendo Switch 2. That is my belief. I also just have a few maybe wishful thinking things. We also have Mario Day coming up March 10th. And maybe the reason we haven't got a Nintendo Direct is because maybe they're saving some announcements for Mario Day, March 10th. Um, I don't know this for a fact. I just kind of wonder. And that brings us to our next topic. Mario Day is coming up, and if you go to the Best Buy website, you can already see, even though Nintendo hasn't announced it, Best Buy has already put up a new Mario Wonder bundle for the Switch OLED. It is $349.99. It has a 3-month NSO subscription and a copy of Mario Wonder included with it for the same price as a regular OLED. Now they're packing in a game and a 3-month subscription with that package. And it makes me wonder, they're probably trying to get the OLED sold before the Switch 2 comes out. So I think they're just trying to get rid of these OLEDs. And excuse me, I think the reason behind this is I don't think they're going to use an OLED screen on the Switch 2. I could be wrong, but it's not going to look good for Switch 2 if you have an OLED screen on the uh, original Switch and you don't have an OLED screen on the new Switch. So I think they're doing this to kind of get rid of the OLED stock. I think you're going to see the OLED phased out, because if the Switch 2 releases at $399, which is what a lot of people believe, and you have just $50 less a Switch OLED sitting on the shelf, I don't think that looks great for Nintendo. So I think what they're doing is they're bundling this with their Mario Wonder game, and I think they're just trying to move units and get rid of the OLED model. I bet you once the Switch 2 comes out, the OLED gets discontinued, and all you have for regular Switch is the Lite or the regular Switch. And then you got a bigger little price gap, $299 to $399 for the Switch. And I think that looks better on the shelf. You know, $100 more, you can get the new Switch, or you can save $100, get the regular Switch. Obviously, $200 for the Switch Lite. I really think that's what's going on here. But it makes me wonder if this shouldn't have been announced until March 10th. But you can, I did it right before we went live. You can go on Best Buy's website right now and you can look up this bundle and purchase it. So, so anybody who still hasn't got an OLED, it comes with a blue and a red. It's a Mario Edition OLED system, and you get Mario Wonder for free. Well, not free, but included, and you get 3 months subscription of the Nintendo Switch Online membership included in that package. So, but I would really like to hear a few announcements from Nintendo, and I kind of came up with a wish list. Um, for Mario Day, I'd really like to see them announce a 40th anniversary 3D All Stars. If anybody knows and have tried to buy one, the 3D All Stars they came out with for the 35th anniversary of Mario, they discontinued. They pulled it from the shelf. It was a timed thing. You could only buy it for so long, for a limited time. Then they pulled it from the shelf, and they actually did that. So now, if you want one of those games, if you go to any kind of like aftermarket video game store or anything like that, it goes for over $100 now. I think I was on the GameStop website the other day, and I think they had used copy for like $115, and it's because you can't get it anymore. So I wonder if on Mario Day they announce a 40th anniversary, the same game, 3D All Stars, but this time add in Galaxy 2. I think that would be a great way to bring that game back on shelves and just add Galaxy 2 to it. Just do that. Just add Galaxy 2, and now you can play the same 3 games that was on 3D All Stars, but you add Galaxy 2 to the pack, so it's a little different, and you slap a 40th anniversary sticker on it instead of the 35th that was originally on it. I think that would be really cool. Or what I think would also be really cool is a new 2D Mario All Stars game. How cool would that be? There has been so many more 2D Mario games that have came out since the last time, I think on the Wii they released a Mario All Stars, which this is probably less likely because if you have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, you can play almost all these games. But there's still games that are unavailable, and that is New Super Mario Brothers, and there's a lot of 2D Mario games that you could pack into a new 2D Mario All Stars. And I think that would be kind of cool for Mario Day. Also, wonder if Mario Day might give us a little bit more insight on the Mario 2 movie that doesn't come out till next year, but it might be a good time for them to kind of give us a little update, maybe a teaser trailer, maybe tell us a little bit more about characters and voice actors that might be coming to the cast. I think that would be a really cool thing for them to announce also. Is there anything March 10th you'd like to hear them announce?
Well, in line with the 3D Mario, maybe they won't do 3D Mario, maybe they won't do 2D Mario. What about a Zelda bundle of the Zelda games that were on, like Wind Waker, or the ones that were on the U, or I
Well,
haven't played any of them, but
well, this is Mario Day we're talking about,
well,
so
I guess I'm
that wouldn't
talking
fall in
more like
line. If
Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, if there was a
If
Nintendo
they do a
Direct,
Nintendo Direct on Mario Day, is what I'm saying.
I mean, that could be the perfect opportunity to say, "Hey, it's Mario Day, but we're also going to bundle it with a Nintendo Direct, like a smaller one, and we're going to give half the time to just Mario and half the time to other announcements." That would be really cool. And a Wind Waker HD or a remaster would be amazing. They also have not re-released Twilight Princess.
Yeah, there's
Um,
that one. I haven't played any of these, so I'm thinking, man, if they could just release all the games that I missed on the Switch, that'd be cool.
yeah, there would be a lot of good announcements. I would also like to hear. I'm still waiting, and I don't know if we have to have a Nintendo Direct to get this, but Metroid Prime 2 and 3 HD. I think they could put that in a combo pack and not do a full blown remaster like they did Metroid Prime 1, but maybe just do that an HD, re-release and put that in like a combo pack, and they could kind of announce that and get that out before Prime 4 comes out. That way that on you can play on the Switch. Prime 1, 2, and 3 is all available on the Switch leading up to the fourth one. And if they want to sell a lot of copies of Prime 4, that would probably be the best way to get the fans hyped, is make sure you have all these Prime games available um, for everybody to play before 4 comes out. That would be great. I got kind of another wild prediction. And this kind of is more Switch 2 related because I think that's when we're going to have to, actually hear about it. I really want GameCube on the Nintendo Switch Online. And I do think it's the next one that's going to get that treatment. I really do believe that. Um,
I would
but
too, because
what
there's a lot of GameCube games I never
Yeah, and
got to play.
there's a lot of great GameCube games. They've got Smash Brothers was on there. There Mario Kart Double Dash would be a one that I would love to revisit and play. They've never done the Double Dash gimmick in any Mario Kart since, but having the one driver and then the other one throwing the weapons or the items, I just thought that was I thought Double Dash was one of my favorite uh, Mario Kart games, and I would love to see that revisited. So if you could just do GameCube on the NSO and give us Double Dash there, I'd be happy. I don't imagine a remake or a remaster or anything like that for Double Dash. But I think on the GameCube that would be great to put that on. But here's what I really want to see with the next generation of Nintendo Switch. I really want to see them update the Nintendo Switch Online and give us true online multiplayer for these virtual consoles. And I think GameCube would be the perfect system to launch something like that with because of games like Smash Brother and Double Dash. How cool would it be? Because currently, right now, you pretty much have to be friends with somebody to get on the Nintendo Switch and play it with a buddy. Okay. But how cool would it be to have online lobbies that you
Yeah.
can jump in and actually play these games? I just think that would be amazing to be able to get on there and play them that way. Um, I love my virtual console. I love that they let us play online with friends. I think that's an amazing feature, but I think with Switch 2, we need to expand that and give us true online multiplayer with these games. And I think launching the GameCube would be the perfect time and the perfect place to promote that. I would love for them to go back and do it with all the systems. So I could play Tecmo Bowl with people online would be a blast to me. It would be a perfect time to add games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and have 4 players online playing these games, which I guess technically
I mean,
I think I can get that with the Cowabunga collection actually.
you can.
But I'd like
Well,
to do it
the
with the
arcade
convenience
ones,
of
because the
yeah,
original Nintendo versions
it was
you
only
couldn't
two
play two
players,
player.
but
You couldn't play 2 players. So the
yeah,
only
but
way
we
they do it is with the arcade version.
can't we tweak that Nintendo? Can't we fix that? I don't know. Maybe
Well,
that's too much work.
they don't
But
need to tweak it because they got the arcade version.
fair enough. I guess I already have the turtles. I guess my wishful thinking's kind of getting out of hand. So, but I do think true online multiplayer for these virtual console games would be a huge step up for that service and would be a good like, hey, buy the Switch 2, move up to the next generation, you get more features, you get better things with this. It just give us a reason to upgrade to the Switch 2, if you know what I'm saying. Obviously, I think the exclusive games will be there. Like if they announce a new 3D Mario, I'm pretty positive it'll only be on the Switch 2. They've already showed Mario Kart, what we believe will be Mario Kart 9, I would assume, unless they count Tour as 9, which is the mobile game. Then I guess this could be Mario Kart 10 or X or whatever they decide to call this Mario Kart that they've
Kind
already
of,
showed off. I think that'll be Switch 2 exclusive. I don't think you're going to see that, but I think that Metroid Prime 4 will be cross-gen
it
because
kind
they
of
already
sucks.
announced it for the Switch.
It kind of sucks that that Switch never got a true Mario Kart um, on it. I mean, we got 8 remastered from the Wii U, right? Wii U was the last console,
Yeah, the
correct?
Wii U had Mario Kart 8, and then they released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was just Mario Kart 8, but it added like all the DLC they gave you for that game on the Wii U.
And they did
But then they
keep up with
added the
new.
booster pack. They added the booster pack, which was crazy because they didn't add that right away. That was years after it released. They added the booster pack and kind of tied it in with this NSO subscription, which you can buy that separately, but that's one of those you get it with the NSO membership. Um, and then they've added, I mean, there's like 96 courses on that Mario Kart game. So it's just the ultimate, it really is the ultimate Mario Kart game. Because it's got courses from all the games before it and everything. It's really going to be hard for them to top this Mario Kart. But the fact that it appears what it appears based off that teaser that they gave us when they announced the Switch 2, looks like we're getting 24 racers, which seems really really chaotic. Um, but very fun to expand the field and really make this a true online gaming experience would be really cool. I mean, think about it. You get on there and race with 23 other people. I mean, that's going to be insane if you can
Yeah.
get on there and race with a full field. Um, but it's really going to be interesting to see what they do with this game. But if the courses are going to be that big, I kind of fear we're going to probably lose some of the old old courses, unless they find, which I guess with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it had the anti-gravity feature, and they worked that in with the old courses also. So I suppose they could always rework these courses to fit the 24, kart field and everything like that. So I'm really interested in seeing what this new Mario Kart, and I'm guessing April 2nd we'll learn more about it, and we'll probably get a release date because I believe that's going to launch with the Switch too. So we'll see.
It'd be smart.
Okay, so that's it for the headlines. Let's go ahead, and we decided to rank our favorite due to the PlayStation State of Play that just happened last week. We decided, hey, what is our favorite um PlayStation franchises? So this isn't one individual game. We decided to make a list and kind of figure out what is our favorite PlayStation franchises. And some of these games have been on other platforms, but these are the ones they were at least exclusive on the PlayStation at one time, and until they expanded and made other. Really, there's only two games that really fall under that category that made it on our list. But let's go ahead and start this list. Number 5, we have a tie. Um, we couldn't really determine how to break that tie, so we went ahead and kept it as a tie. So number 5, we tied it up, and it's the Spider-Man franchise and the Kingdom Hearts franchise comes in at number 5. And I know I have played all the Spider-Man games, and they are an absolute blast open world game to play. I thoroughly enjoy every one of them. I can't wait till they come out with a new one. Like I said, I think Venom is probably the next one before they come out with the Spider-Man 3. But Spider-Man is just a blast. I love going through, swinging through the city, doing little odd jobs in the game, and saving people and all that kind of stuff. And there's crimes that are being committed while you're flying through the city, and like I said, the game changes itself up constantly with new little story missions that they give you, like where you're walking around the laboratory and stuff, and you're doing little puzzles inside the laboratory and everything. It likes to change up the gameplay. um, but these Spider-Man games are they're more a newer PlayStation franchise, and it's hard to think of Spider-Man as just PlayStation, but these last several games have been exclusive and only to PlayStation. Uh, but these games are phenomenal. Um, it's kind of shocking that they're stuck just on one system, but these are some of the best games out there right now. Graphically, they're impressive as can be, and they're just so fun to play. Um, but yeah, Spider-Man was tied with number 5. Now you go ahead and talk about
See,
Kingdom Hearts.
well, first off, I wanted to say the main reason I can almost guarantee you that I would love these Spider-Man games. Unfortunately, I don't have a PS5. I've never owned a PS5 or a PS4, so it's hard for me to add Spider-Man to my list. And this is why this tie happened, because let's be honest with you, had I played these Spider-Man games, they would probably definitely be on my list as well. Um, I cannot see a scenario where I wouldn't want Spider-Man on my list. because I've loved the old Spider-Man games. Spider-Man's always been one of my favorite franchises. I remember when Spider-Man 2 came out. The Spider-Man 2 video game, Chef's Kiss. It was the first Spider-Man game that truly let you be open world and get to web sling. It was a lot like which we'll talk about this possibly later, but it was very similar to my time with Grand Theft Auto, where I didn't need to play the story. I didn't need to play the game. All I needed to do is web sling as frickin' Peter Parker, and I was having a blast in those days. I'm sure you probably can relate, and can relate even better since
I'm web slinging right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't have Spider-Man on my list. I had Kingdom Hearts on my list, and that was we both had it at 4 on our personal list. And Kingdom Hearts is a franchise that I'm a big Disney fan and Final Fantasy, and they literally just mashed them up. You've got Cloud and Sephiroth in this game. You've got freaking Hades, which is one of my favorite villains. Love Kingdom Hearts. It's got a fun gameplay, and just the story is amazing. I've enjoyed every single Kingdom Hearts game that I've played.
Yeah, I've played the Kingdom Hearts game, never beat them all.
I beat the first 2.
Yeah, I've played through some of Kingdom Hearts 3, but just never beat it. I should probably go back to it. It's kind of funny that I didn't think about it until you were sitting there talking. We kind of have the Disney owned bundle at number 5. Let's just call it that, because I mean, we're talking about Marvel, Disney owns, and then Kingdom Heart, which literally has all Disney characters made by the Squaresoft that or Square Enix or whatever that makes all the Final Fantasy games. So it's kind of funny that both games that tied here are Disney related.
Yeah, very true. That's very fair.
It is fair. So let's move on to number 4. Number 4, I'm kind of surprised. It's one of my favorite PlayStation franchises. But number 4 is God of War. And the crazy thing about God of War is when they first released the God of War games, they were more of an action beat 'em up game. And that was kind of the true nature of it, was an action beat 'em up. And it was kind of linear. You just went from one point to the other and you played these games. But then they made the new God of War games on the PlayStation 4 and then the PlayStation 5, God of War and then God of War Ragnarok. And I'm telling you what, these games are so awesome. They turned it into more of an open world. Yeah, you still have the beat 'em up elements, but they turned them into more of open world. And this is kind of one of those great situations where they really modernized the genre, the game, and they did something with it and made it even better. Because it's hard to imagine going back and playing those old God of War games after God of War, what was it, 2018, whenever it came out, and then God of War Ragnarok. These games are so phenomenal. I absolutely love these games, but there is kind of an inconsistency of what the game used to be versus what the game is now. But it's just kind of one of those things that I think it was for the best. I always, every time I bought a PlayStation, I told myself I buy the PlayStation for the new God of War. And there's other franchises, and we'll get to them. But it was always like, if I'm buying Nintendo to play every new Mario game that they release, it's the same with me for PlayStation. I'm buying PlayStation to play the new God of War game. And I've bought every one that they've released. I've even bought the PSP one, and the I don't remember. I don't think there was a Vita exclusive, but there was a PSP. I think Chains of Olympus or something. But um, but yeah, I've played through every one of these God of War games, and they're really fun and amazing and brutal. Um, and I just love these games.
So what I can say about God of War is, so we had it where God of War was 8 on my list, and it was second on yours, and which put it at 4th place. These top 4 are the only games we both had shared franchises on. Um, I I could probably see myself putting God of War higher on my list. However, I've only played the old games. I've never played Ragnarok. I've never played the PS4 and PS5 games. So, and I've heard they're freaking amazing. But I've never played them myself. So I like the God of War franchise. But for me, I liked the God of War franchise more for the story. Um, I can't say that the gameplay in the old games were like my favorite. They were fine game. It was a fine, fun game, but I love history, and I love like Greek mythology, and stuff like, well, Norse mythology as well. So for me, the God of War games was just awesome. Getting to kill Zeus and all of the Greek gods, and how they intertwine Greek mythology in the game. It's one of the reasons I love Assassin's Creed so much, is because of all the mythology they throw in there and all the history. But I couldn't justify bringing it up higher because, as much as I loved those games, I only have played the old ones. So my list really has a lot to do with, I played games on the PS2 and some PS3 games. I didn't really get to play. I haven't got to play the new stuff, so there really isn't anything new on my list. But I do, like I said, I do love the Greek mythology and stuff. So I did really enjoy the first 3 games, which I've played the first 3, but I haven't played any of the new ones.
Yeah, so that's God of War. The new one they added Atreus, which on the footage you can see that it's showing Atreus in the game versus Kratos. That is his son in the game, and there's some surprises that involve him, but it was definitely a good addition, and it tells a great story, and it's just a blast. Those games are so fun. But yeah, God of War number 4. So let's move on. What do you got at number 3?
So for number 3, we have the Final Fantasy series. Now, to justify this, Final Fantasy originally started on the Super Nintendo, as we all know. The first 6 games were exclusive to Nintendo and Super Nintendo. However, some of my favorite Final Fantasies, and what got me into Final Fantasy, was Final Fantasy VII. And Final Fantasy VII, 8, 9, those were all PlayStation 2 games. So was Final Fantasy X, or they were PlayStation those were PlayStation 1 games. Final Fantasy X was PlayStation 2. I don't think was it not until 15 that Xbox got, or they put it on a different platform?
Which one was it? It was
15, I believe. I don't think they played. They might have put like remasters of the old games on there before that, but I don't think Xbox got a Final Fantasy until 15. They were pretty much exclusive to PlayStation until then.
yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know officially. I just know Final Fantasy VII is one of the most amazing games out there. And I'm playing through the remake now. I haven't got to Rebirth yet, but I've been trying to get through the remake. And I don't know, I kind of like the original a little bit better just because of the turn-based RPG versus the more action style on the
Setup.
remake. It's kind of a shame they changed it, but the game's so beautiful to look at that it's hard
It
to
is.
not play through it. Um, but but yeah, Final Fantasy is one of those that there was a lot before it, but I remember when they came out with Final Fantasy 7, I didn't really pay attention to the Final Fantasy series when it was on Nintendo, Super Nintendo. It's just not something that I ever really came across. Um, it was Final Fantasy 7 that really brought me into this world, and Final Fantasy 7 was just so monumental. I remember us getting that game and it was like 4 discs, and I'm
Uh,
like,
it
"What
was
is
3.
this? Was it 3? Are you
It was
sure?
3 disc.
I thought it was
Uh,
4. Okay,
I remember this specifically because I played the first 2 discs, got to the third one, and then my memory card got ran over at a friend of ours' house, and I lost all of my data and never got to beat Final Fantasy VII until recently when I played the remake version on my Xbox. So I just recently finally beat Final Fantasy VII for the first time because I lost my all my data because I back in the day we had memory cards and I brought my memory card to a friend's house and it fell out of my PlayStation and it got ran over.
ugh.
And I was on the third disc. I was on the final disc of Final Fantasy VII. However, I actually put Final Fantasy X on my list instead of 7. I really debated on these two because I love both, but I had such a blast playing Final Fantasy X, and it was the first and only Final Fantasy up until recently that I had ever actually finished and beat. So it kind of holds a special place to be the first Final Fantasy game I actually played all the way through.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 10 was really really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, so was 9. Um, I mean, these games, definitely in the PlayStation 1 era, was just phenomenal games. Um, but yeah, Final Fantasy definitely really sparked on. I know there's a lot of people that played it on Nintendo, um, but yeah, the PlayStation really kind of solidified Final Fantasy as one of the best RPG games out there, and they did a really good job of that. So yeah, Final Fantasy, like I said, they still make them today. They're up to what, 16, I think, and then they're making the Final Fantasy 7 remake and Rebirth, and then
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna call. I don't know if they already know what they're calling the third one. That I believe the third remake game will be the final game of the series. Um, but yeah, so Final Fantasy is our number 3 on our favorite PlayStation franchise list.
And
So
let me put this. You had Final Fantasy as your 7th game, and I had it as my number 1. I had Final Fantasy X as my favorite PlayStation exclusive game.
okay, all right. So number 2 is a little bit more of a modern franchise. Only been out for maybe 11, 12 years, I believe. I think 2013 is when this first came out, but it has become so massive. And there's only really 2 games, and then a like a side DLC game that came out for it. So there's not a lot of games for it, but it's already number 2 on our list because of how good. It's even sparked an HBO series, which is probably the best video game adaptation of any show or movie I've ever seen. And because it follows along so well from the game. And that's because the game's story is so iconic that they didn't have to do much to change the show. And that is The Last of Us. And The Last of Us is such a good game. Part 1 and Part 2 are must plays. These games are just incredible, uh beautiful games that you have to play through Ellie and Joel's story, and then it's just such a good game. I don't know when they're going to make a third one or if they're ever going to make a third one.
I've been seeing rumors on some of the groups that I'm at that they're supposedly they have announced that they are in the works of making a Last of Us 3
Yeah.
to go along with because the second season of The Last of Us on HBO is coming out very soon.
Yeah, and the first season followed along with the first game, and pretty much I'm pretty sure the season ended where the first game would have ended. So season 2, if they do the same thing, it's already going to move into the second game.
Well, they have already announced that essentially they have 3 more seasons planned out. That is gonna work the second game. So they're actually slowing down for game number 2. We are not going to get the full game like we did with season 1. Or they're going a completely different directions, which is a possibility. But they said that as of right now, there are 3 more seasons, including the season coming up. I believe not 3 more after the season, but including this season, there are 3 more seasons that they have planned out for Last of Us, and I believe it's all going to take place during the second game. So they are stretching out the second game a little bit more.
Okay, because I was a little surprised at how fast they got through the first game, but they did it they did it perfectly. They did it like they really made season 1 at times almost frame for frame the same show as the game was. It's incredible how close to the game they got. And there's even YouTube videos that you can go to that actually show like this is the Last of Us. This is the Last of Us show. And it's like, wow. They just completely did a great job on that show. And it's because the story was already there, because The Last of Us 1 and 2 are some of the best story I've ever seen in video games. And it is such an amazing play that if you ever get a chance, I can't recommend this game enough. It's probably only number 2 on the list because there's only 2 of them.
Yeah, that's fair. This was what I got a PlayStation 3, and I got to play The Last of Us on that PlayStation 3. So I've actually only played the first one. I've never even played the second one. I believe that second one came out on PS4. Is that correct?
Yeah, the second one came out on PS4, and they've already remastered it for PS5.
Yeah, and I've never had a PS4 or a PS5, so I've actually never got to play the second one. So this new season's going to be completely new to me because I've been spoiled on some things, so it's not completely new, but I don't know every storyline that happens. I just know some major events that happen.
That's a shame that you already know some major events, because and I won't spoil it for any of the viewers that's watching this, but yeah, if you hadn't played part 2, you're going to be shocked when you watch the new show. It's so good. It feels so different than any other video game, where they definitely focused on crafting this story, I would assume, before they actually figured out the gameplay. I mean, they probably did. Just the story is so good that this could have been a TV show or a movie without a game ever coming
It
out.
is a TV show.
I'm
It's
just
a
saying
great
that
TV show.
if the game didn't come out first, this could have easily been a Hollywood movie or, like I said, a TV series. Um, it just they made it in the format of a game, which is just incredible because it's as good as any movie or show out there. Which obviously proved that when they made it into a show. But
And
yeah,
I think I mostly agree with you that this is probably the best video game adaptation. But there is the Mario movie, there is the Sonic movies, and the Sonic movies are fantastic as well.
yeah, but
Um,
they're fantastic in a way that they're a new version of what we love, and they kept things somewhat true to the. I mean, they kept elements like the Mario movie I completely adored, and the Sonic movies are great, but we're talking about a video game, and this you usually can't do this. You usually can't take a video game and then make a show based off of the video game or a movie and basically keep it exactly the same,
that's
or
true.
you're not going to be able to create that movie or create that. It's just not going to work. The Last of Us, the story was already there and so good that you were able to keep it the same and play it out on screen, and it fit perfectly. How many video games can you say can be adapted this perfectly? And it's
It helps.
it's kind of funny because how do you want to experience this story? Do you want to watch 10 episodes on HBO? I'm guessing I think they were about an hour long a piece. I assume I watched them
They
when they
were.
were airing, so I can't remember the time.
I think
Maybe went over an hour
I,
here and there.
I think the Frank episode was an hour and a half. But
Okay.
other than that, most
So
of them were
so
about an hour.
do you want to experience this story in 10 weeks while watching it weekly after it comes out, or do you want to experience it by playing 20, 30 hours of the game, which I don't remember how long it took me to get through this. But it's kind of like, well, how do you want to experience the story? Because you're getting the same story regardless. In those other movie adaptations, you're getting Mario and a brand new story. You're just getting the characters you love. You're getting elements of the game, but the story's completely different than any Mario game you've played.
Yeah,
Same with Sonic. You're getting those characters, you're getting elements, but let's be honest, you're putting him into the real world and you're getting a completely new story from beginning to end, and you're just adding little tidbits of Easter eggs and stuff that the fans are going to be like, I remember that. I remember Supersonic. I remember that. I mean, and
right.
those are fun movies, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy those movies, but those movies don't make you feel like, oh, I just watched the same thing I played for years. The Last of Us, it's literally at times that TV show is frame to frame. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Go to YouTube and compare them, and you'll see that there was moments in that TV show that literally was identical to the game, and that is just, to me, that's just crazy, but it just tells you how good of a story that game was.
it also
um
helped that they had America's Dad, Pedro Pascal, in it.
yeah, so
We all love Pedro.
it's phenomenal, and I just couldn't recommend. If you like the HBO series, go play the game. If you like the game, go watch the HBO series. It's
Well, the
just such
problem
a
is I
it's
don't have a systems to play it, but
Yeah, so it's definitely great. So our number one, and there's been more of these games than there were of The Last of Us, but the one game that I always have to pick up when they release a new one, and they haven't released a new one in a long time, it's the Uncharted series. Nathan Drake those are also, I think, great story gameplay, and that's kind of what PlayStation gives you, is these kind of almost movie quality games that just feel like you're playing through these great stories. And we did get an Uncharted movie, but it wasn't nearly frame for frame. It was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. They
I
had
like the Uncharted movie.
little pieces that were kind of like, it felt like the Uncharted movie, but it wasn't the perfect, uh you know it was its own story, but they added things that were very similar to the game, stuff like that. And the Uncharted movie was very enjoyable, and I really liked it. But the games, I just absolutely love these games. It's like playing through an action movie. um
Yeah.
obviously he's not Indiana Jones, but it feels like, it's kind of like a modern Indiana Jones. You just go through these beautiful locations, climbing these walls, and it's got gunplay. It's just, this game is so fun, and I can't believe we haven't received one. And I'll have to look it up, but it's been a while since we've seen a new Uncharted game, and it just makes you wonder when they're going to revisit this character. Um, but yeah, I absolutely adore and love these games, and can't wait till we get a new one. I think half the problem with the Uncharted series, though, is it's made by Naughty Dog. And Naughty Dog started making the Last of Us games. So it's like, for us to get a new Uncharted means we have to not get a new Last of Us game. So I'm sure that's probably the issue there. But these games are just awesome, and I just can't believe they've kind of, abandoned this for so long. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think A Thief's End, which was the final one, yeah, that came out in 2016. So we're going on 9 years since we've truly had a new uh, Uncharted game. And that was on the PlayStation 4. But yeah, you haven't seen one since 2016. So, and I don't know if that's because of the Last of Us series. I know they've already announced this intergalactic game, which is Naughty Dog's next big game, which means they still are not working on a new Uncharted. So I guess they really meant it when they titled the last game A Thief's
Thief's End.
End.
Yeah,
They were trying to tell us this is it.
let me put it to you like this. When I got a PlayStation 3, I got it well after its cycle. When I believe PlayStation 4 had already came out, so I got it for cheaper. When I got that PlayStation 3, it was for specific games. Uncharted was one of the main games I wanted to play. I wanted to play the God of Wars, and I wanted to play Uncharted. And I loved the first three games. I've never played number 4 because, once again, I've never had a PS4 or PS5, so I've never got to enjoy 4. But I have played 1, 2, and 3, and oh my gosh, they were such cool games. It had great story. You got Nolan North voicing Nathan Drake, who is a legend in the voiceover video game realm. I'm sure you know. Um, we had Troy Baker as Sam Drake in the in one of them too. So they had two of the most popular voice actors in video games uh, in these games. I love Uncharted. Uncharted 2 is amazing. That's the one I put on here. I loved Uncharted 2.
Yeah, these games are phenomenal. They made 4 really good ones. They made a spin-off that was really fun. They also made Golden Abyss for the PSP, or it might have been for the Vita. Yeah, I think it was for the Vita. And I remember playing the one on the Vita, uh, and it was so fun. Like it, the Vita was really cool because it felt like you were playing, I think, like PlayStation 2 quality games on a handheld. So it was just really cool to be able to play that type of game in the palm of my hands in a where usually, I'm used to playing a lot of, Super Nintendo style games on the Game Boy Advance and stuff like that, and even
Yeah.
Nintendo 64 maybe, but the Vita really stepped it up with graphics and it looked really, really good. It stepped it up from the PSP, and I really enjoyed my Vita. Unfortunately, Nintendo kind of has that had that market locked. I guess they still kind of do, because I always forget that the Switch is technically a portable system. Even though you can dock it and play it on I use it more as a home console than I do a portable, but it is a portable system. But they kind of have that on lockdown, and PlayStation hasn't really tried to make a portable since. They just came out with the PlayStation Portal, which is just the PS5 portable though. You can like cloud play your games with the PlayStation Portal, which is really cool. Uh, I don't know. I haven't picked one up. They're $200, kind of a lot of money to just be able to play my PlayStation and portable. But I don't know. Like I said, the Vita, I little sad that it didn't last as long. It just Nintendo just had that market kind of on lockdown. But the Vita was a really cool system, and they had that Uncharted Golden Abyss, and it was such a fun little portable game. I mean, it wasn't as big and as great as the PlayStation home console ones, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, but it was still, for a portable game, it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. But these games are just phenomenal, and it's always one of those, I buy PlayStation to play these games. Uncharted, the God of War. I
Yeah.
mean, there's, and now The Last of Us is on that list. These games are system sellers. These are why I keep buying PlayStations. I don't even play multi-platform games usually on my PlayStation. Most of the games I own on my PlayStation are Sony exclusive games like this that I can only play on my PlayStation.
Yeah, when it comes to multi-platform, I mean, even if I had a PlayStation, it would be always Xbox.
Yeah.
I love my Xbox, but yeah, I would love to get my hands on a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5 or even a PlayStation 4, just so I can go back and I can play these games. I want to play Last of Us 2. It does appear like I'm going to be experiencing Last of Us 2 in the season on HBO coming up for the first time. So, would love to play Uncharted 4. I don't know if I ever beat 3, actually. I know I beat 1 and 2. So I wouldn't mind revisiting that. I want to play Ragnarok and the 2 God of War games. Like, I would love if I ever got my. Now, don't get me wrong. For me, it's not like I hate the PlayStation and that's why I never got one. It's that I'm a poor man and I get one system that I can afford, and when I buy for that system, can't afford to get every single system in the book. If I could, I'd have every system done. I'd have a Jaguar if I could afford it. I'm
Well,
I'm
maybe
a
this
lover of all systems.
maybe this channel will take off and you'll be so valuable that Sony will start sending you PlayStations so you can try
That
out
would
their
be great.
games, so you can talk about it on the
Absolutely.
channel. So
Yeah,
I
let's
guess
go.
let's do the shameful thing, and that all YouTubers do, and say like and subscribe. We are trying to reach 1 million subscribers this week. Hey, let's try to, we might want to keep our goals a little. Hey, let's try to get 10 subscribers.
Yeah, let's start with 10. Let's start with 10. We're at 2.
Let's start with
Let's start
10.
with 10 first.
Um,
I think we're
and
at 2, and I think me and you are the only ones that are subscribed so far. But
so yeah, let's get some subscribers and maybe you'll be able to have these companies send you the games so you can talk about it on your channel. But
I would love
in
that.
order to do that, we have to get people to actually watch this. Okay, so that's going to do it for this show. We are NPX, which stands for Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. We are a game talking show, and that's what we do. We talk about the best topics of video games today. And join us. The next one will be the Pokemon Presents. We are looking to live stream that. So join us on a live stream next Thursday for the Pokemon Presents and get our live reactions to the announcements they make. I think Blaze will be a little bit more excited about those announcements than me. I'm not a huge Pokemon person, but hopefully there's something in there that surprised me. Maybe the ZA game will be what makes me say, "Oh man, I really want to check that out." So
we can talk about our favorite Pokemon. Do you have a favorite Pokemon?
I know of Pikachu. Tell you what, my favorite Pokemon is Ryan Reynolds. There you go.
No.
Because he is Pikachu.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, I actually watched that movie. I don't know much about Pokemon, but that was a funny movie, mostly because Ryan Reynolds was voicing Pikachu. It was kind of weird, but that was a funny movie that I did sit and watch that. But join us for the Pokemon Presents on Thursday morning, and we will see you guys next time. I am Rage.
And I'm Blaze.
Thank you for watching.